Hi everyone. In this video, let us discuss about the forces acting on a class 2 restoration, forces acting on and class 2 inlay as well. So, when a force is acting on an incline, what happens is that the resultant force reacts at right angle to the surface. This reaction force no longer opposes the applied forces and it is also not equal to its magnitude. Hence, the forces are not in equilibrium when applied on an inclined plane. Therefore, let us consider this to be an inclined plane. When the force is acting here, the resultant force R is developed, which is at right angle to the force applied, and it is also not equal in magnitude. So, this is the basic. So, whenever the force is going to be applied in inclined plane, then the resultant forces are no longer equal in magnitude to counteract the applied force. So now let us consider this cuspal planes. This is act as an inclined plane. Now let us imagine that the force is acting along this direction and we are able to see that the N is a resultant force that is being developed at 90 degree to the applied force. Let us imagine that the force is going to be applied in this direction and N is going to be a resultant force. Now, the terminologies we need to know is M is a masticatory load, that is the force, that is the direction of the force that is being applied, and N is going to be your resultant force, while H is your horizontal resolving forces. So, mechanical functions of the marginal ridges. So, marginal ridges are very much important in order to withstand the load, the masticatory loads. Okay. Now let us consider tooth A and tooth B. Force 1 and force 2 are acting in these two tooths. Okay, force 1 is acting in the marginal ridge of A, while force 2 is acting in the marginal ridge of B. As a result of these two forces, horizontal resolving forces and vertical forces are developed. So now what happens is that this H1 and H2 counteract each other, and this V1 and V2 forces will be withstand by these forces will withstand by the periodontium. So as a result of this H1 and H2 forces, these tooth will always be in contact and they do not get easily drifted away. This is a normal marginal anatomy. Now let us consider an example where there is going to be no marginal ridge in tooth number A. Okay, let us consider that there is absence of marginal ridge in tooth number B. Okay, so now force 1 will act on the tooth A, while force 2, because there is no marginal ridge in force B, it also acts on the tooth A. So the force 1 and force 2 both are now going to act on a single tooth. What happened? This H1 and H2 forces now will not counteract each other. And the result, what happened, the two teeth will drift apart from each other. So space will be created in which your foot impaction can occur. So this is the important significance of the presence of marginal ridge. Now let us consider a situation in which the marginal ridge is with a wider occlusal embrasure. Here, force 1 will act on the tooth A and B, as well as force will act on tooth A and B. Because of these forces also, what happens, it will wedge the foot between these two teeth. Okay. Now let us consider the next example where there is no occlusal embrasure. What happens here, the vertical, when there is no occlusal embrasure space. So here the occlusal embrasure is wider, and here when the occlusal embrasure there is no space, what happens? The force 1 and force 2, the vertical component as a result of this force 1 and force 2 will be very much higher than the horizontal component. So, what happened? Though there will not be any foot impaction, because of this increased vertical load, damage may occur to the periodontium. So, these are the few examples. So now let us consider MOD and MODO situation. In MOD situation, it will act as a simple beam, while MODO situation, MO or DO, it will behave as a cantilever beam. Most of the bending moment will take place at the axiopulpal line angle. Okay, because of this bending moment, what happens? It will tend to rotate the restoration arm. And this is the reason why we are also beveling the axiopalpal line angle in order to avoid the stress concentration being given there. And this rotation can also be counteracted by giving gingival retention in inlays. Now let us also see about class 5 cavity preparation. In class 5 cavity preparation, the depending upon the height of the axial wall, the deflective forces is increased, so that the retention of a class 5 cavity restoration usually depends upon the length, that is the height of the axial wall plays an important role. Because now let us consider this is going to be the force and this is a vertical V force, and now this is a horizontal forces that is being developed. Okay, and there is an important relationship between the horizontal forces that is being developed and your height of your axial wall. So your height of the axial wall plays an important role in the retention of the cavity preparation, the retention of the restoration in a class 5 cavity preparation. In class 3 and class 4 restoration situation, the increased transverse stress, what it causes, it can cause the a restoration, a tendency to rotate along the long axis. Therefore, a lingual lock is placed in the lingual surface and it is placed as close to the incisal edge as possible, and it is also placed in dentin. So, for class 3, class 4 restoration, in order to prevent the dislodgement of the restoration, a lingual lock can be placed.